March
Cutters,
26,
Coast Guard, aviation assets.
2024.
I spoke twice today with Secretary of Transportation.
Once again, it's March 26, 2024. And as you can see, this bridge collapse happened. And this is not what I'm talking about when I speak of the massive attack on Lower Manhattan or the demolition of the White House the day after. I'm not speaking in metaphors or figurative language whatsoever. What's going to happen is going to happen to CIA and Interpol, per my judgment, in consideration of the judgments of the United Nations Security Council and Interpol, will occur as effective, as actually implemented, enacted, conducted. Okay? That's mean to you guys. No one is going to die. The evacuation orders are going to go out again, and everyone is going to say yes to running 2 to 3 days in advance to Lower Manhattan being completely atomic nuked by Russian military jets, negotiated with the United States military, and 3 days later, central Moscow will be completely nuked by the United States military, and 2 days preceding that, the White House will be completely demolished. No one will die. Everything is completely staged. That's the only way we are going to pay up for our moral and economic debt. That's the only way we're going to pay up for, and speaking of the United States government, that's the only way we're going to pay up for the crimes against humanity and what we sanctioned of Russia in Ukraine per secret dealings. Okay, a lot of people died. The bodies that washed up under Rio Grande banks were not supposed to serve as a joke for American-born individuals or conservatives. That's not a joke. Okay, the bodies of migrants which showed up in the Hudson River banks. That was not a joke. We audited the whole city of New York. We audited the southern border, and it is true. Migrant human rights abuses have been documented as accurate and real all throughout the United States of America, but in particular New York City and at the southern border with Mexico. What has transpired in Ukraine is quite awful. What has transpired in China, in West China, and in North Korea regarding the government and its treatment of its own people is quite shocking and alarming. What's going on with the plans of Turkey to literally demolish Palestine as a sacrifice for cooperative deals with Israel is quite alarming. So yes, Manhattan, Moscow, Pyongyang, Beijing, and Istanbul, they're going to be nuked. The first two are going to be nuked by conventional atomic hydrogen bombs. They're going to be completely evaporative. And the 3 additional cities, they're going to be bombed by warheads. Okay, nuclear warheads. They're still going to be quite destructive. All right? And the war is going to come to an end. The global war, which is going to be coined in 2 to 3 weeks, is going to come to an end in 2026. I just need you guys to know that I'm not speaking in metaphors or codes. I'm not illusory, and I'm not a crazy man. I want you guys to take the evacuation orders quite seriously. And no one is going to shut down my YouTube account whatsoever. We made sure of that. No one is going to shut down my Google emails or my LinkedIn account. So none of that is going to happen. Okay? I am God. I am Jesus Christ. But I'm here. I showed up to allow you guys to see that good always wins out in the end. I hid who I was. I really did. Okay? So I'm about to get a new avatar. I'm about to be 6'5". This is a top secret emergency declassification procedure. Video recording 12YCJQ. Actually JCQI. And you can remove the I, but you guys will understand what I'm speaking about. Those involved with the Interpol CIA partnership. Okay, so I want you guys to understand that. Alright, so I'm going to get a new human body in a few weeks after the coast is clear, after my NATO agents show up to protect my agents and setting everything up here for me so that we can run the country and the whole planet into recovery and the end to nuclear warfare for good. This will be the last world war. This will be the last nuclear conflict or set of conflicts, and we are going to do away with continental militaries and nation-state military buildup and so forth. That's going to come to an end right now within the next 2 years with the end of the global war and with our strike on Iran. We're going to remove theocracy, or the theocratic government from Iran, and eventually we're going to secularize the whole Middle East. We're not taking away religion or theocracy per se, or theology per se, but we're going to do away with theocratic government, theocracy. All right, the whole Middle East. That's going to occur over the next few decades or so. We're going to secularize the whole planet. We're going to have the EAA, the Free Trade and Economic Area of the Americas, established, ratified, and signed within the next year and a half. It's going to create the General Assembly of the Americas, and so forth. So we get into the point of having a literal economic union of the Americas immediately, with the Organization of American States still serving as the chartering and foundational vessel. But in 25 years, we will have the political union of the Americas, officially the Union of the Americas, and the General Assembly of the Americas will be made permanent and fundamental of this particular continental government and jurisdiction of the whole hemisphere, excepting the African parts of the hemisphere, essentially North and South America and the Caribbean, the Americas. Okay, so but I'm going to be the first world president as Khalid Sandiata Hassan. I'm going to have a corporate identity. I'm going to look a bit different, and I'm not going to be what people want me to be. I've made my decision. No one is going to make any decisions on what I'm going to look like, or what I'm going to evolve into looking like as perceived by you guys. I'm going to walk Rashida Williams into heaven in a few weeks. She's my daughter, my most holy daughter in heaven, who became my chief wife, and angel as Mary Magdalene. Okay, and even before then, as Queen of Sheba, she was the mother of my royal kids, my most royal of kids while here on earth. Okay, so she evolved. I covered it up with the story of Lot and his daughters. That's about me. I have 3,000 daughters in heaven. I'm the only being in heaven with children. My daughters are my original daughters birthed my consequent daughters and sons and so forth. So I have 3,000 angels and 10,000 children in the city of God and angels in heaven. Okay, and I'm not speaking of Los Angeles at all. I'm speaking about heaven, real heaven, from a higher dimension. I don't want you guys confused at all anymore. Okay, guys? Hold on. So, guys, I've heard of stories about me having had a leg implant or an arm implant. I've never had any arm severed or any leg severed or any part of my body severed, including my genitals. That has never occurred. A lot of folks have gotten in a lot of trouble for having communicated that shocking lie. That was quite a shocking lie. I'm being honest with you guys. Okay, but anyway, as you can see, hold on. As you can see, my arm is a normal arm. My left arm is a normal arm. As you can see, still do have my sleeve. You can see the burn on my right arm. I still do wear my sleeve consistently. And I'm going to show you guys that there's no and okay, hold on. And as you can see, I just rolled down my sleeve. It's a normal arm, no implant. It's just this burn scar that I had since 15 years. The scar goes from my it's on my lower arm and parts of my hand. It's always been that, and it's not that serious, to be in all honesty. But I did consistently wear my sleeve because I did not like how it looked, and I did not want it actually keloiding. You know, when you suffer third-degree burns and stuff, sometimes it keloids, no matter how much cocoa butter or treatment you receive. That's the reality of third-degree burns. Okay, so I guess that was a sacrifice. It was honestly an accident, and it might have been an initiated or instigated accident, not by me, but it certainly was an accident, based on what on my end, based on what I did. I was cooking for my family. I was 15 years old in Williamsburg, Virginia, after school. My parents were still working, apparently. So I decided to cook for them. I was watching a basketball game, and for some reason, the stove went a bit hotter than usual. I'm not too sure how it got to that point. And when I tried turning it a bit lower, it just flamed up. And it caught my arm. And then the fire did not go out. It caught part of my arm, just a small part. And the fire did not go out. And I said, should we run out of the building, me and my brother, run out of the building right now, or should I try to put this out as soon as possible and make sure that this family home does not burn down? And that's how I sustained actually, the first incident, it did not even really burn my arm per se, but the heat did touch my arm, and I knew it was real. I knew it was hot, and I knew it was grease fire, but I had to take the chance, and that's how my arm burnt. I really tried moving it to the faucet, even though it was really flaming up. And when I placed it on the sink, not even the faucet, I tried putting it in the sink. And when I put it in the sink, the flames brushed back on my arm, the arm that I used to place it in the sink. It was a grease fire. I had oil in the particular pot or the saucepan. So that's how that happened. I promise you, that's really how that happened. Okay, 15 years old, cooking for my family and so forth. At that particular point, I had $1 million trust fund and a financial estate account at a particular point, and it went up to about $3 million. I guess I did not know that. I honestly did not know I had a trust fund or any of that. But when I was briefed at college and I found out, I was like, oh, okay. And then when I found out what else that I actually found out about myself, and dimensional and celestial CIA secrets and stuff I've declassified over this emergency period. Eventually, all of this is going to be taken off online by me and the Central Intelligence Agency and Interpol. I presume by the end of 2024, by then I'll have my corporate identity, my new look security all over Florida and the country at various points, so that no matter where I travel to for operative reasons, I'll be safe. But by the end of 2024, everything online will be removed as needed. All the top secret work papers, legal articles, and even the book sketch. Everything will be taken off online. My company, RC International Research Policy Institute and the Central Intelligence Agency, has taken over iUniverse, so easily we'll be able to remove the book sketch, the New Society's Concepts and Apperception of an Eastern Caribbean Model of Commonality, published with iUniverse in 2012, a book sketch clearly unedited and incomplete per deceptive but lawful sting operation to catch the National Security Agency attempting to get in the way of me doing my job, of creating the Union of the Americas, opening up the borders and becoming the first world president of the United Nations in 2044, the first world president of the United Nations world government. And they know that I'm going to write the Constitution of the world, the Constitution of the Americas, and so forth. I'm not arrogant at all. I kept my mouth shut for previous 37 years of my life about all of this top secret information and what I've done with the Central Intelligence Agency and so forth. I was quite aloof, quite shy, quite not nervous, not paranoid, but very cautious at all times. I did not say much at all. When I did have fun at college, I went to house parties or dorm parties whatsoever. I was never too outrageous or anything, and then I went right back to being quiet and studious in my dorm room, or often at the library, without a lot of folks knowing, or often in empty classes at Douglas or other academic halls without folks knowing. So I did study, I did do my homework. Often I did it in empty classrooms in the academic halls and away from my dorm room. I did not need them knowing exactly who I was and that I'm a genius, and that I actually run the Central Intelligence Agency, and that I was being trained to run it in collaboration with Interpol as both their chief manager and consequently leading the United Nations. Okay, so I did a lot of auditing and so forth. But I'm not a bad person at all in having to communicate what we've had to communicate to you guys, to the world, whoever is privy to my revelation or my publication sites online and so forth. All right, so the governments of the United Nations, or member governments, for the most part, they can see what I'm publishing online, my literary works, legal and political writings, and they can see what I'm publishing, the video recordings I'm publishing on YouTube, whether directly via YouTube or in providing some sort of relayed footage to the rest of the world, or the governments in secret. Okay, so that's what's going on.